Are you ready for some roller derby, Tampa?
I'm sorry, probably not. Can we check your mic? Are we sure your mic's on? I don't know. I don't think they heard you on this.
They might not have heard me down in St. Pete. All right. We got a great bout coming up. This is the championship pitting the Rose City Rollers Axle of Annihilation against the Denver Roller Derby Bruising Altitude. Before we introduce the teams, we're going to run quickly through the non-skating officials. We have Icy Scars, Don King Kong, Christy Cuffs, Mandula Oblongata, Nat 20, Troy Nolan, Stormageddon, McHotpants, Slippery Vixen, Mesmerized the Ficus, and Psylocke.
And for our skating officials for this game, including Cataclysm, Biddy, No Hit Sherlock, Smalls, Drax, Shotgun, Felony Fat Bottom, and your head official for the championship game, Base Invader.
All right. And now, to introduce the teams, Vince Hannity.
Thank you, Mr. Narco. Roller Derby fans, introducing the challengers. In the white jerseys from the great state of Colorado, ranked seated 6th for the tournament, your Denver Roller Derby Bruising Altitude. 00 Scary Go Round. Number 2 Lonberg. 206 Campisi. Number 2121 Sund. Number 212 Clem. Number 22 Powers. Number 3 Angel. 382 Charlotte Pupowski. 505 Dixie Dash. 52 Andy. 55 Pow. 768 Supersonic. 98 Thorns. And your captain 525 Babe Fett. Once again, your Denver Roller Derby Bruising Altitude.
And skating against Denver, wearing the purple uniforms, the reigning champions and #1 seed of this tournament, your Rose City Rollers, Axles of Annihilation. Number 16, Beyond Thunderdame. Number 19, 69, Ruth Robertson. Wearing number 207, it's Lil Bradney. Number 210, T Nasty. Number 241, Lily Dow. Number 247, Mia Palau. Number 31, Toxic Haste. Number 44, Rogue One. Lucky number 7, Harky. Number 757, Morgan Levy. Number 868, Zip Drive. Number 93, Vanna Curtis. Number 97, Rootable Evil. And the captain wearing number 155, Bella Constrictor. Put your hands together for the Rose City Rollers, Axles of Annihilation.
Bobby Narco from Atlanta and last year's Sting of the Hill. We come down I-75, several hundred miles to see if the Axles of Annihilation can repeat or if we will crown a new B-Team champion.
Indeed. Rose City comes in as the #1 seed because of the reigning champion.
Certainly.
Tremendous improvement by Denver. They came in as the #6 seed, so regardless of the finish, they will be improving. They'll be finishing ahead of their seed.
Indeed. Again, if you're just joining us on the YouTube stream, we're glad to have you for the ride. The Bruising Altitude of Denver in the white jerseys. The Axles of Annihilation of Rose City in the purple jerseys. On the jammer line for Bruising Altitude, number 52, Andy.
And wearing number 16 on the jammer line for the Axles of Annihilation, Beyond Thunderdame. And here we go!
Beyond Thunder Damm, an absolute monster with the star for the Axles of Annihilation as Bruising Altitude Waterfalls up front. Longboard trying to hold the line but cannot do so. Lead Jammer goes to Thunder Damm, Bobby Narco.
Indeed it does. But about 2 furlongs behind, and he clears the pack.
Bruising Altitude at the rear of the pack. Up front, Damm will call it off. And credit to the Bruising Altitude as they will do what few other teams have been able to do in an individual jam and shut out Thunder Damm.
How about that? Nothing. Let's do it one more time. Let's do it several more times.
Let's do it all night long.
All night long. Pair of 8s, pair of deuces, and a 6 on the jammer line.
That'll be number 22, Powers for your Bruising Altitude.
And 868 Zip Drive for the Rose City Rollers Axles of Annihilation.
Axles at the rear of the scrum, Bruising Altitude up front, pack stretching out. Great speed around the outside. That will be Powers, lead jammer for Denver.
First penalty of the game goes to the Bruising Altitude. Didn't see the call. 2-4-1 multiplayer block on Lily Dow.
And first on the scoreboard is Bruising Altitude, courtesy of Powers. With 2 down, Bobby Narco. It is 4-0 advantage Denver. Good to see sportswomanship and the code of honor on the jammer line between number 55, Susie Powell of the Bruising Altitude, and number 93, Vanna Curtis of the Axles of Annihilation. 3-3 pack, no advantage either team. Pack will stretch out right before the whistle to start the jam. Head out, high block going against number 44, Rogue One of the Axles, and a cutting the track on Vanna Curtis turns this into a Susie Powell Bruising Altitude power jam. Head out and drawn back. And it is confirmed, Susie Powell, lead jammer, Bruising Altitude.
That's Mia Palau, 247.
All 5 points for Susie Powell. More than doubles Denver's score. Nice hit on the outside. That hit brought to you by Morgan Levy. 4-on penalty on Morgan Levy.
And Powell on 9 points on the jam, bringing us to Denver 13, Rose City still 0.
Another 5 points.
Points on the jam for number 55, Susie Powell of the Bruising Altitude. Around the outside, defended by number 241, Lily Dow of the Axles of Annihilation. Hit out and drawn back into turn number 2.
Blockers strung out in an archipelago along the backstretch.
And Bobby Narco, amazing pack work by Bruising Altitude as Vanna Curtis taking almost all of the 2 minutes of the jam to break the pack.
So 22 points for the team in white, the Bruising Altitude. Rose City yet to crack the scoreboard.
And for jam number 4, it will be 382, Charlotte Bupowski with the star for Denver.
And that's LeBratney, number 207 for the Axles of Annihilation.
Clam, scary go round in the pack for the Bruising Altitude. Water falling up front, trying to hold back the Axles jammer. Will Bratney.
Lead jammer, Will Bratney.
2 for 2, lead jammer split so far in the game. Sun with the defense on the inside lane for straightaway number 2, but not before the Axles will put 4 on the board, Bobby Narco.
Indeed they do. Finally breaking out of that scoreless streak. Took them 4 jams, but they're on the board. Got a wonderful bunch of stuff coming up at halftime.
We have the taco eating contest at halftime, Bobby Narco.
Taco eating contest and big raffles. We'll tell you all about it after the next set of whistles. Vince Hannity, who's jamming?
Well, that'll be 6'7", 6'8", Supersonic for Bruising Altitude and Beyond Thunder Dame, who will get the call, lead jammer Rose City.
Morgan Levy to the penalty box, didn't see the call.
Cut track on Supersonic.
We got a cut track on Supersonic.
So Power Jam for Thunder Dame.
Power Jam, Thunder Dame, and a Grand Slam.
And Bobby Narco, the toe stop work by Thunder Dame, just mind-blowing, I dare say.
Like a Rolenda on a tightrope.
I see what you did there. And walking the tightrope, 360, make it a perfect 10.
We got a cut track call. That's White 525, Beba Fett, the captain. Got a forearm penalty coming in on White 3. That's Angel.
She is power, she is grace, she is lead jammer. She has 15 points so far on the jam for the Axles of Annihilation. If she can complete this pass, she will put Rose City in the lead by 1, Bobby Narco.
How about them apples? Direction of play is the call. Who's leaving? That is White 2, Lumberg.
2 jammers enter the pack, 1 jammer leaves, and that jammer is Thunder Dame on a 24-0 run.
Almost like a cage match out here on the track. Nice hit by the Denver pivot.
Number 3, Angel, with that nice hit out with the angle and the momentum. And just powering over thorns. Angel goes for the chase, but realizes about to go out of play, so ends the pursuit. High block will send number 44, Rogue One of Axles, to the box.
Angel forced out and calls off the jam, but not before picking up 29 points. Put your hands together for a 29-point jam. That's definitely the high of the game. That might be the high of the tournament.
We may have 1 or 2 30 in there, but certainly if you've been watching
in the running,
if you've been watching Beyond Thunder Dame all weekend long, as I said in the previous game, Bobby Narco, it feels like Death, Taxes, and Thunder Dame getting lead jammer.
All right, a true 3-2 margin on the board. A pair of trays, a pair of deuces. Out on the jammer line, number 52 is Andy, and the purple jammer's already disappeared. That is number 868, Zip Drive.
Thank you. Jammers working lateral movement, sideline to sideline, looking for openings, but on the outside, MD for the Bruising Altitude will get the call.
Direction of play is the call. Who's leaving? That is the Axles of Annihilation pivot. Harkey.
Nice display of core strength by 52. Andy clearing on the first scoring pass for 5 points for Bruising Altitude. Only a 6-point game now, Bobby Narco. And credit to the assist on Sun, defending position and wide open inside lane. A 1-point game, 33-32.
Denver doing a really good job containing the Rose City pivot.
Rogue One at the rear of the tractor trailer trying to hold the line against Andy. Powers her way on past. And just like that, another grand slam. And Bruising Altitude will regain the lead.
And the Axles of Annihilation lose a blocker to the penalty box.
Harkey out of the box, joined by a second blocker for the Axles. That is 757 Morgan Levy, or Levy, excuse me, I should say.
And Andy calls off the jam, but not before picking up 5 more points. Total of 20 points on that jam.
Bobby Narco, we've seen a lot of nickel and diming, hitting and quitting it throughout the weekend. But if these first 6 jams of the championship game are any indication, both Both teams are going to be ducking all-out punches all night long.
Oh my God, it's like a prize fight. We got two heavyweights just exchanging knockout blows, knuckle to knuckle.
Frazier and Ali, the Axles and the Bruising Altitude. It will be Powers with the star for the Bruising Altitude.
And that's Vanna Curtis picking up Lee Jammer for the Axles of Annihilation.
Thorne's fighting her way up front to open up the lanes for Powers.
Way on front, they have to let her go. Four points picked up. Denver's still in the lead. So we have these raffles to tell you about. See that big table full of beer at the right by Apex number 2?
The veritable cornucopia of brews.
Yeah, they call that a basket. That is a beer basket.
Oh, we're way beyond basket at that point.
That's a beer jacuzzi, I think. $5 a ticket. That could be yours at halftime. Vince Hannity, who's jamming?
Well, it will be 55. Susie Powell one-on-one with Beyond Thunder Dame. And credit to Susie Powell, she will get the call.
Through 8 jams, each team has got Lee Jammer 4 times. The lead jam's almost as even as the score.
Yeah, I can... Justice Hannity concurring with Justice Narco.
2 more points picked up there by the Axles of Annihilation, extending the lead 44-37. Only 7 points separate these two teams. We're already 12 minutes in.
And going into jam number 9, it will be 93 Vanna Curtis for the Axles of Annihilation and 382 Charlotte Bapowski for your Denver Bruising Altitude.
Here we go. Different strategies there. Bapowski kind of hanging back while Curtis bolts forward.
Yeah, Curtis thought she had found the lane right off the bat and just drove through the middle. Double dread, a forearm penalty. Power jam, Bapowski and Denver Bruising Altitude. Hit out and draw back courtesy of Lily Dow.
Back in retrograde practically to the jammer line. One blocker to beat.
T Nasty trying to hold the line, and credit to T Nasty and the Axis of Annihilation, Bobby Narco. They have killed the Power Jam.
And forcing her to the infield, making her re-engage. Okay. Skater stepped inside, so she's released. Doesn't have to back up.
Axel's fighting their way to the front of the pack in turn number 3. Bruising Altitude looking to go one-on-one, woman-on-woman. Axel's reformed with the braced triangle. Baby Fight going for the offense, trying to clear out lines. Inside, outside, inside.
Nice hit at the top of the pack, but a penalty picked up for the forearm. No, the forearm's on the jammer.
And because she does not report to the box before the 2-minute jam ends, Bobby Narco, the Axles, will start in a power start formation.
Power start and a full 30 seconds with the other jammer in the penalty box.
Indeed.
So continuing the events at halftime, another raffle, different raffle, the beer raffle, $5 a ticket. You can get 2 passes to RollerCon.
Not just any passes, Bobby Narco, 2 VIP passes.
Very important passes. We'll tell you a little bit more about that after the next set of whistles. Vince Hannity, can you tell me who's jamming?
That's going to be 207 Lil Bratney of the Axles of Annihilation on the power start.
And Lil Bratney is still in the penalty box for Denver.
About half the power jam gone, but Bratney will break the pack and get the call
direction of play on purple 7, that's Harkey.
And on the inside, it's Lil Brittany with the apex hop and the grand slam for Rose City. 2-1-2 clam with the hit out and spin out on Lil Brittany. Star staff completed as Popowski will clear on the initial pass.
And what are the URLs?
And Lil Brittany calls it off. And just like that, Bobby Narco, not only is it a 1-point game, but the Axles retake the lead.
How about that? Back and forth, pitched battle. We are only a quarter of the way done.
What?
Indeed. 14 minutes and change left to play. 16816. Supersonic going up against Beyond Thunderdome.
Look at the back work by the Axles, not only defending Supersonic, but once Damm had gotten clear of the rear scrum, wide open inside lane to get the call, Bobby Narco.
Indeed. High block assessed to Lily Dow. 5-point pass for Beyond Thunderdome. New jammer is going to be Anglo.
Denver fights up front for the bruising altitude. Axles of Annihilation trying to wreck that pass. Damm will get part way, call it. But no! Angel will sneak in to match 2 for 2 on that pass, but the jam will go 7-2. Advantage Beyond Thunderdome and Rose City.
Holy cow, look at that score. 57-51. You want to do some live chatting? We got Tool Time and Albie Damm live chatting to you. We'll tell you what URLs in just a second. We got a jam to call. Number 868 is Zip Drive.
And 52 Andy with the star for the bruising altitude. Andy will get the call for Denver. Cutting the track will send a bruising altitude blocker to the box. Andy still engaging on the first scoring pass. Gets through, calls it off. Awarded 4 points on the pass.
Holy cow, if that was a poker hand up there, I'd be glad to have the 5s. 57-55.
A true test of wills. The Axles of Annihilation looking to hold on to their B-Team championship. Denver, in the spirit of Queen in 1989, they want it all and they want it now. So they will send it out to 22 Powers to jam against 93 Vanna Curtis.
Blocking with the head is the call on the purple jammer, Vanna Curtis. Denver also losing a blocker. Didn't see the call.
Well, now a 3-2 pack advantage, excuse me, 4-2 pack, I stand corrected, advantage for Rose City, about to become a 4-3 pack, but blocker down, it doesn't matter, as that will be Powers with the grand slam.
And a lead change.
Bobby Narco, it feels like just about every third jam we're just announcing a lead change at this point. It's incredible how evenly matched these two teams have shown themselves.
The hits are hard, the tempos are fast, and we still have 40 minutes of Derby left to play.
Perfect 10 for the bruising altitude makes it 65-57 with about 10 minutes, 30 seconds left in regulation in the first.
Thank you.
Our URLs, we have hashtag Hostile Takeover, we have hashtag BeatTeamChamps, and you can follow the YouTube feed at tinyurl.com/ALBDAMM Derby. That's Albie Damm with 2 M's Derby.
And a high block on Susie Powell will send her to the box and power jam Beyond Thunder Dame and the Axles of Annihilation.
Forearm is the call on number 1969. That is Ruth Robertson. Sweet move around the outside. Thunder Dame matriculates her way through the pack for a grand slam.
Bobby Narco, Thunder Dame 4 for 5 for lead jammer calls so far in the game in only 14 jams.
Curtis skated for Denver last year. Back block is the call on Susie Powell, so it is a power jam now for Beyond Thunder Dame.
Back-to-back penalties in the same jam for the Bruising Altitude. Dame will clear. No hit. Sherlock confirms 15 points on the jam.
Okay. No. Yeah.
Bruising Altitude waterfalls up front, runs the tractor trailer to try and slow down Dame. That's Clam at the rear. Sun up front at the pivot, trying to hold things for scary go round. Baby Fett running the bridge.
Big brace 2-wall at the top of the pack. They're able to force Thunder Dame out. And I believe 2 minutes ends the jam. I didn't see any hands on hips.
Now that was Dame content to run it out. 19 points on the jam. And if I'm not mistaken,
55 points for Thunder Dame so far. Wow. 55 of the 76 points put on the board by the Axles of Annihilation, courtesy of Beyond Thunder Dame.
Full Bettany once again for the Axles of Annihilation. Charlotte Popowski jamming for the Bruising Altitude.
76-65 on the scoreboard. Great cribbage hand. And lead jammer goes to LeBretton. Only 2 in a row lead jams. 4 rows. We got a forearm penalty. Who's leaving?
Well, that's Rogue One, number 44.
Big hit at the top of the pack. That's Angel.
And look at the balance and core strength by number 3, Angel, digging in deep with that shoulder right in the solar plexus, Bobby Narco.
Holy cow. 81-65. Just under 7 minutes left in the half. 7-6-8 and 8-6-8 out on the jam line.
Numerologist would have a field day with this one.
That's Zip Drive and Supersonic. Here we go.
Quick alteration right before the jam whistle. And Supersonic taking off for the Bruising Altitude is lead jammer.
Nifty little skip to clear the pack for a Zip Drive. Oh! 3 points showing for the white team, no points showing for the purple team.
And at the end of that, I believe that was Sun, number 21, for the Bruising Altitude, reporting to the box. Don't know if that was a misconduct or a low block. Regardless, the end result, Bobby Narco, the same. 30 seconds in the box.
Yep. Are you having a good time here in Tampa at the B-Team Championships? I am too. How about you, Vince Hannity?
I tell you what, Bobby Narco, this has been one heck of a weekend, and what a way to cap things off with the way these teams have been duking it out, and what a way for Andy to get lead jammer for the Bruising Altitude.
Vanna Curtis still fighting her way through the pack on her initial pass. Pivot for Rose City, reporting to the penalty box.
Brace triangle up front, braced by T Nasty. Star stash by Curtis, but Andy will check her bench, who signals to call it off, and Andy will get the grand slam. That will bring us to 81-73, Axles of Annihilation over Bruising Altitude with just under 5 minutes left in the first.
Almost a true 9-8 margin, almost. A skate lace away from a true 9-8 margin.
Powers draws the short straw to take on Beyond Thunder Dame on the Chamber line.
Here we go. Pack starting up at that pivot line. For a minute there, I thought it was 2008.
Powers trying to go inside, but nice job by the Axles to waterfall up front, but hit out and drawn back by Scary Go Round. Here's Thunder Dame. Powers is lead, but is swallowed back up like the Pack.
I saw her going the other way. I thought she might have been heading to the penalty box. But no, just going to the back of the Pack to re-engage.
Just the frustration of being swallowed by the beast that is the Axles of Annihilation Pack and being forced to call it for a scoreless jam. But again, we got to point out, Bobby Narco, credit to those Bruising Altitude jammers for not only shutting down, but getting lead over Thunder Dame. That's no easy feat at all.
Indeed. Out on the jammer line now, we have number 207 on the purple team. That is LeBratney. And number 52 on the white team is Andy. And Andy picks up lead jammer.
And I'm told Bobby Narco that is 4 in a row lead jammer calls for the Bruising Altitude as they'll sneak in for one more point. A 7-point game, 81-74. Axles of Annihilation over the Bruising Altitude with under 3 minutes in the first.
Hard-fought point right there. Hey, don't go anywhere during halftime. We got a lot of great stuff coming on.
I need to remind you, you only got a few minutes left to buy your tickets to win the raffle for the 2 VIP passes to RollerCon 2018 and our taco eating contest.
And the beer. Don't forget the beer. The jacuzzi of beer.
How could we ever forget the jacuzzi of beer? But certainly not to be overlooked are Powers.
We had a directional play penalty. That's number 7, the purple pivot. Harky.
And it's going to be Zip Drive, lead jammer for the Axle of Annihilation.
And holy cow, the tempo is incredible. I'm actually getting a breeze over here in turn number 4.
This jam is the most effective air conditioning we've had in the wrecking hall all weekend long.
Category 2 wind coming down here in turn number 4.
One lone point for Zip Drive makes it 82-74, and bench coaches for the Bruising Altitude to come talk things over.
These
Space Invader.
Team swapping 1-point jams. Holy cow. For a while they were swapping 20-point jams. Now we're doing the jams. Now it's no longer haymakers. Now we got little jabs coming in. 55 is Susie Powell. 93 is Vanna Curtis.
Fullback draw up the middle for Vanna Curtis, getting the call for the Axles of Annihilation.
Oh, what a leap! Clears the pack. Nifty footwork.
And Vanna Curtis looking to the bench, but a signal, so they call it. The bench says to keep rolling. Don't play the short game, play the long game. And defended is number 7, Harkey, who will force a cutting the track. Bobby Narco, at least the 3rd chamber penalty of the period for number 55, Susie Powell.
So a power jam for Vanna Curtis.
And what a prescient call by the Axles of Annihilation bench to Curtis, telling her to run long, paying off in spades.
Indeed. 15 points and counting. Rose City just 3 points shy of the century mark. Nice hit by number 2 at the back of the pack, but it barely slows the jammer down.
Head out and draw back. Curtis re-engages.
And Rose City is over the century mark with that grand slam.
Morgan Levy trying to force another cutting the track on Susie Powell, but Powell will re-enter in proper formation from the penalty box.
Apex jump spoiled by Dixie Dash.
Curtis working that core strength against Angel, against Dixie Dash, but Dixie with the hit out and drawback.
Well, you ain't just whistling Dixie.
No, sir.
And the last jam of the first period goes the full 2 minutes. 4 points picked up by Denver, 20 points picked up by Rose City, and it's 102-78. Vince Hannity, let's turn it over to the very special, the Reverend, the great leader of the whole damn family, Al B. Damm.
Y'all go talk to Bud real quick, please.
Gotcha.
Just. What up, Wrecking Hall? I want the other mic. I don't like it. Hey.
RollerCon is roller derby heaven.
Essentially the ultimate roller derby holiday.
The opportunity to sit trackside and watch some of the best athletes in our sport.
I actually met the love of my life at the Rydell Superheroes and Villains Party 2 years ago.
I've never felt more included or encouraged at an event.
It's a reminder that there's a lot more people out there in the world that share the same passion for roller derby as I do.
And it's so hard to leave when it's over. You'll be having withdrawals for weeks.
RollerCon. No parents, no rules.
All right, we are back. It is just about the second half. Only a couple minutes to go before the second half gets underway. This is a true slobber knocker of a bout, with 102 to 78 in favor of the Axles of Annihilation.
Indeed, courtesy of our roughneck producer, Daryl, we've got some jammer statistics at this point for the Axles of Annihilation of Rose City. It is number 16, leading all scorers beyond Thunder Dame with 56 points, and the top scoring jam of the game with 29 points. Also joined by number 93, Vanna Curtis, with 29 points, but Miss Curtis also has 3 box trips in the period. For the Denver Bruising Altitude, top scorer is going to be number 52. I believe that's Andy with 30 points total, and the top scoring single jam for Denver with 20 points. Also joined on our roster by number 22, Powers, with 14 points, and Susie Powell, number 55, with 27. However, Susie Powell with 3 box trips for the period so far. But I think, Bobby Narco, the most important stat is to go ahead and do a little survey of our audience here. If our audience can hear us, we want to conduct a little survey by making some noise. Who out there is cheering for your Axles of Annihilation to repeat, to hold on to it and repeat as your B team champions? If you're cheering for Rose City, let's hear you.
Who's rooting for the
team? No one is cheering for Rose City. Nothing.
Put your hands together if you're rooting for the team in purple.
And if you are cheering for Denver's Bruising Altitude to come from behind and win hostile talkover, let's hear you out there. Well, Bobby Narco, to quote the great philosopher Scott Hall, another one for the good guys, whoever they may be.
I don't think there's any bad guys here.
Well, the jackets are off, the kid gloves are off, the tacos are off at this point.
Indeed. It is a bare-knuckle brawl here in the Wrecking Hall in beautiful Tampa, Florida.
102-78 Axles of Annihilation over the Bruising Altitude. If you're just joining us, you missed one hell of a first half of a championship game. Additionally, the Axles of Annihilation of Rose City are in the purple jerseys. The Bruising Altitude of Denver Roller Derby are in the white jerseys. I'm Vince Hannity, joined by the incomparable Bobby Narco.
Good to be here. My first time announcing in the Sunshine State. Makes the 13th state in which I've announced about. Meanwhile, but it's not about me, it is about the roller derby, and we have jamming number 22 on the white team is Powers, and number 16 on the purple team, Beyond Thunder Dame, picking up the lead jam call.
Said it before, Bobby Narco, I'll say it again, Beyond Death, Taxes, and Beyond Thunder Dame getting lead jammer.
Thunder Dame gets 4 points and calls the jam.
Score will be 106-78. Axles of Annihilation over the Bruising Altitude. Vanna Curtis will take the star for the Axles, and number 52, Andy, with the star for Denver's Bruising Altitude.
From my vantage point, unless there's a blocker standing somewhere, that penalty box is empty. We will have 80 wheels a-clattering around this bright blue floor.
Human chess game as the Bruising Altitude shift to the front of the pack to work the braced triangle to hold back number 93, Vanna Curtis.
And lead jam goes to Vanna Curtis.
And I believe going back to our first period, Bobby Narco, that's at least 3 lead jammer calls in a row for the Axles of Annihilation.
Stop block is the call. Who's leaving on the stop block? That is somebody whose uniform ends in a 67-57. That's Morgan Levy. Oh my goodness! Skating backwards on the inside line. Holy cow! Put your hands together for Andy.
Bobby Narco, 3 points on the pass. And dare I say, were we authorized to award such an additional point for style?
Style points, absolutely. Great poker hand on the scoreboard. 4 aces and an 8. Susie Powell on the line against Zip Drive. Great poker hand on the jammer line, too.
And dare I say, full house in the pack on the pivot line. Susie Powell looking to break the house down. coming into turn number 2 with a blocker and a pivot to beat, getting around Harkey. And that will be, I believe, Bella Constrictor, and that will be Susie Powell getting the call.
Back in retrograde as Zip Drive forced to the outside.
Hit out and drawn back as number 757 Morgan Levy in the pack for the Axles of Annihilation.
There's a penalty on the pivot for Denver.
And a forearm to Zip Drive. So not only is Powell lead jammer for the Bruising Altitude, dare I say, Bobby Narco, she is on the ultimate power jam.
Oh, there you go. I see what you did there. Sweet move. Tiptoeing around that backstretch, picking up all 5 points. How about that? Here comes Denver.
Bruising Altitude pack splitting up the Axles of Annihilation blockers, spinning around, threading the slalom, calls it off, swinging the hips. And No Hit Sherlock says that'll be 4 more for 14 on the jam. And just like that, the Bruising Altitude will pull to 16. 4 points for the lead.
Only one blocker left. The penalty box had been brimming at one point during the last jam, but there's only one blocker left, and she is standing. Pack starting way up there at the pivot line.
And Bobby Narco, that's Zip Drive. So it's a power start formation. So I love the jam management by the box for Bruising Altitude on this one. I love the call.
Oh, but coming out of the penalty box and picking up lead jam, it's Zip Drive.
Doubled back from the box to behind turn number 1, behind the pivot line, hit the afterburners, and got the call from the box. From the box.
Brace 2 wall at the top of the pack. Brace 2 wall at the back of the pack.
Nice job by Dixie Dash regulating on Zip Drive, but the damage done for
2 points picked up by the purple team, by the Axles of Annihilation. No points picked up by Denver. Must have missed it by microns. She was skating hard to get through that 4th whistle to get some points.
I don't know if there's a particle smaller than microns. If there is, she missed it by that much.
I guess micron is a unit of measure. I probably meant nanoseconds.
Is it like making the Kessel run in 12 parsecs or something like that? I don't know.
Meanwhile, out on the track, number 768 is Supersonic, and jamming for the purple team. Well, 768 Supersonic picks up lead jammer, and Lil Bratney jamming for the Axles of Annihilation.
Lil Bratney working the course string to try and clear out number 21 Sun, but Sun holds on long enough, but we'll get the out of play warning from inside pack ref. Kata kills him.
Denver picks up 3 more points. They are towing that century mark, and they trailed by only 15. We have just under 25 minutes left to play in the game.
And Bobby Narco, you called it earlier, after dodging those all-out punches from the jammers, we've gone to a game of jabs. And a shout out to Snowbird Mom watching us live on YouTube Live, saying, yeah, that's my Dixie Dash right there. Glad to have you watching along on the YouTube stream for the Damm family. Bobby, who do we have there?
We got Beyond Thunderdame going up against Andy. And Beyond Thunderdame picks up lead jammer.
Bobby Narco, we've seen what these Bruising Altitude blockers can do in the pack, but it's almost like against Beyond Thunderdame, they would have an easier time stopping the wind. Which do you put a tank on there? Do you put an APC? I don't know.
Rose City losing 2 blockers to the penalty box while we was palavering. And that is a 4-point pass for Andy. 9 points total for Thunderdame. Score is 122 to 102. And Denver up over the century mark.
Indeed. 6 of 8 lead jammer calls for Thunder Dame, but Bobby Narco, if I'm not mistaken, credit to Andy. I believe the first time in the championship game, the first bruising altitude jammer to score against Beyond Thunder Dame.
How about that? 122 to 102. Deuces over aces with a 0 kicker on the jammer line. We have Powers going up against Vanna Curtis.
And Curtis coming in just a little too hot. Will report to the penalty box on a back block. And that will be Powers, lead jammer for the bruising altitude on the Power Jam.
Five-point pass.
Dow holding at pivot on the line, trying to slow things down, buys enough time for Bella Constrictor to come in to assist.
Denver losing a blocker to the penalty box. My X-ray vision wasn't working, so I couldn't see the call.
Cutting the track against Palau for the Axles of Annihilation, and that's 10 points on the jam for Powers for Denver.
And now Denver only trails by 10.
Chuck underneath, swings the hips, calls it off. No hit. Sherlock says 14-0 on the jam for the bruising altitude and Bobby Narco, a 6-point game.
Holy cow. You know, I thought for sure that Rose had that lane closed, that outside line. That jammer squatted down low. Jammer got even lower.
Well, they tell you get low, lower, no lower. Are you deaf? I said lower, and credit. Powers pulled it off.
Susie Powell now out on the jammer line for Denver, and number 868 Zip Drive on the line for the Axles of Annihilation. Hit by the Rose pivot.
But unfortunately, Dow will be called for a high block on the impact.
The jammer goes to Powell. Forearm penalty called. That's number 247 Palau to the penalty box.
Beautiful.
No, that's 757 leading.
And Bobby Narco, thanks to our roughneck producer, Daryl, it is confirmed a 4-4 lead jammer split so far, but the first time this period that the bruising altitude have received back-to-back lead jammer calls.
Was it 4 each team had 4?
Yes, sir.
Just the way the first period started, with each team getting 4 lead jammer calls. 4 more points picked up by Denver, and we have a lead change.
And we will stop the clock as the Axles of Annihilation call their first team timeout of the game.
They were down by 24 at the half, and now they lead by 3. So it's 27.
Bobby Narco, an amazing comeback to start things off, down by 24 at the half to now lead by 3 points in only a mere 8 jams.
Holy cow. Afterwards, go to facebook.com/AlB, DAMM, Albie Damm for the awards ceremony. We're going to be handing out gold, silver, bronze medals. Also got some most valuable players. We have the MVP blocker, the MVP jammer, and the Damm MVP.
The Damm MVP. So the MVP of the whole damn thing is what you're trying to say.
I don't know. It's DAMM. I think Albie Damm's going to choose his own MVP. Not quite sure, but I saw it there on the table. There are 3 MVP prizes over there on the table and a slew of trophies. 122 to 125. Deuces over aces. On the jammer line we have, what do you think we have?
Well, it's Beyond Thunder Dame and Andy, Rose City and Denver respectively.
The go-tos after a timeout. Penalty box empties out. Well, not quite. Penalty box emptying out.
Wait for it, wait for it.
Lead jammer goes to Beyond Thunderdame.
Thunderdame powering through. I believe that's 7 of 9 lead jammer calls so far for the game, confirmed by our producer staff.
Must be the Borg.
Fave Effect, Clam, and Scary Go Round have to let Dame on through. 5 points on the pass.
So we have another lead change. Forearm penalty. Oh, and an apex leap. Forearm penalty called on one of the Rose City blockers, but it does not deter Thunderdame from jumping that apex.
It didn't even seem like a jump, Bobby Narco. It just seemed like a nice little leisurely skip over the apex. But oh my word! A high block, if I see PK Biddy correctly, and power jam for Andy of Bruising Altitude.
And he's already picked up 5 points.
Levy trying to hold the inside lane. Now up front, it is Team Nasty.
Pack really strung out, but the skaters doing a great job stringing those pearls. And we have another lead change.
Bobby Narco, we have 2 lead changes in the same jam.
Holy cow. And wait for it, we have 3 lead changes.
What?
No, yes, we have a tie game.
Oh my word.
Holy cow. Vince Hannity cannot take the pressure. It is raining paper over here at the dais. Supersonic on the line for Denver. Number 207, Little Bratney on the line for Rose City. Well, Bratney forced to the outside. Picks up lead jammer first and calls off the jam. So we have a still a tie game. Nothing.
At this point, Bobby Narco, I don't know if we'll need dynamite, plastic, or flat out C4 to break open this tie the way this game is going.
You might need a combination of all 3.
D, all of the above.
Yes, there you go. Number 93 is Vanna Curtis. Number 22 is Powers.
And somebody's going to the box. That one's going to be on a back block. That is Powers. And power jam for Curtis and the Axles.
All purple at the back of the pack, all white at the top of the pack. Direction of play is the call on the Rose City pivot. Harkey. 5-point pass by Vanna Curtis. And the pack in retrograde going back all the way to the jammer line. White 00 cutting the track, I believe, is the call I heard. I didn't see the call, but the cadence was nice and crisp. That's scary going around.
And credited down the inside lane for the Axis of Annihilation, defending against Powers. Done with her 30 seconds on the box. Star has been passed. Oh, Captain, my Captain. The active score, but before she can engage, they call it off for a 14-0 jam for Rose City, making it 150-136 with just over 14 and a half minutes left on regulation.
14-point lead, 14 minutes to go. Holy cow, anybody's ball game. Zip Drive taking the line against Susie Powell. I'd like to thank our sponsors. We'll do that after the next set of whistles.
Rogue One digging in deep to hold back Susie Powell. Joined by the Captain Bella Constrictor.
Lee Jammer.
Zip drive.
Zip drive. Denver picks up one. Jamref's going to confer with the outside pack refs to make sure that the points for Rose City get scored accurately. They're going to give them 3 points to Rose, 1 point for Denver.
Great job by Zip Drive, fighting her way through that block to the outside, still getting past 3 of those bruising altitude blockers.
Our sponsors, Big Cat Rescue, Skater's Choice, 5-Second Skate Gear, Adam Skates, Massage Therapist, and The Fold. Much love to all of our sponsors.
Supersonic with the star for the bruising altitude. Lowell Bratney with the star for your Axles of Annihilation. Hit out and drawn back by the bruising altitudes. I believe that was, yes, Clam on the outside lane.
All white at the back of the pack, all purple at the top of the pack. One to beat, now 2 to beat.
And a forearm penalty on Bratney. Saves the jam, gets the call for Supersonic.
A timely lead jam coming right as the power jam commences. Supersonic breaks a four lead jam in a row streak of Rose Cities.
Well, they used to say that roller derby is a game of angles, but clearly, Bobby Narco, this game proves that roller derby is a game of momentum.
0-0 showing on the board. Oh man, 153 to 137, just under a dozen minutes left to play.
And again, I love the strategy of the bench staff for the bruising altitude. See the jammer standing in the box with the Axis of Annihilation, call off the jam, reset fresh with the power start. In this case, it'll go to Andy. Let's see what you can make of it.
Well put, Vince Hannity, well put. Andy is able to pick up lead, and it pays off.
I'm not sure, that might be 2 for 2 in those strategy calls, Bobby Narco.
High block being assessed. Who's leaving? That is number 3 on the white team.
That's Angel for the bruising altitude. Jam is called, but the damage done, as Andy will sneak in for 2 and make it a 14-point game. 153 Axis of Annihilation, bruising altitude 139, just over 11 minutes left in regulation.
And I know the people on the interwebs are loving the dancing taco, but here in the house we have a dancing taco of our own. That is ham pudding, the dancing taco at the venue.
That, I dare say, Bobby Narco, that is ham pudding going ham.
Well, I'm glad to see you're putting it that way. Jammers are beyond Thunderdame and Powers. Powers picks up lead jammer.
Lead jammer calls for the bruising altitude, and only, I believe, the 3rd time this game that Beyond Thunderdame has failed to get the lead jammer call.
Wow, and another nothing jam. We've had at least, I think, a half a dozen 0-0s in the game.
And the crazy thing, I believe it's at least the 3rd time that Denver has held Beyond Thunderdame, a force of nature, all weekend long, scoreless.
They burned a lead jammer call to do it, but they took her off the jammer line. Susie Powell up against Zip Drive. Here we go. Just under 10 minutes left in the game. Lead jammer is awarded to Zip Drive.
Took quite a block from the bruising altitude to get it, but will not get swallowed up by the pack. Fights her way out of the belly of the beast on the 2nd effort.
Failure to reform is the call on number 98, Thorns. 5-point pass picked up by Zip Drive.
Thank you.
Track cut penalty assessed to Susie Powell.
Cutting the track, if I'm not mistaken, Bobby Narco, I believe her 4th box trip of the game.
That is not, well, I don't know. It doesn't look like she's on pace to foul out. There's a lot of time left.
Actually, I believe being waved off by the officials.
I think it might have been downgraded to a no pass, no penalty.
I believe you are correct, sir.
Five-point pass, another 5-point pass for Zip Drive. This just in from our, oh dear, this just in from our super stat man, Dr. Darrell. We've had 3 0-0 jams in the game, in this half, and 5 total in the game.
We will stop the clock and stop the game for the EMTs to examine number 55, Susie Powell. Tic-Tac-Tony and Tasmaniac coming to check over. Susie saying to Tasmaniac, it's okay. It just kind of winged me on that one. She's up on her skates, upright, giving her an ice pack.
Zip Drive picking up 15 points on that. Nope, 12 points. 12 points on that last set of whistles. So a 26-point lead. 8.5 minutes left to play.
And Bobby Knock, I'd be remiss if I did not mention this while the action is stopped. If you are here in the Wrecking Hall, we still have goods at the Tampa Bay Juniors Bake Sale. Everything is $1.
How about that? Everything's $1. Get your feet on, support the juniors. Head on back to your seats for some wonderful roller derby action. Right now we got Supersonic going up against Vanna Curtis. Vanna Curtis is your lead jammer. Supersonic half a track behind. Blocking with the head, another blocking with the head call. Who's leaving on that?
That one I believe is going to be an Axel's blocker, but a 2-0 jam, and the Bruising Altitude will call their first team time out of the game.
Holy cow. Holding those timeouts. Each team now with 2 timeouts remaining and an official review. Are you having a good time, Tampa?
Bobby, I'm not sure your mic's working over DJ Ito. Wrecking Hall, Tampa Roller Derby, are you enjoying this one hell of a championship game?
Put your hands together for the emergency medical technicians. Put your hands together for the non-skating officials. Put your hands together for the referees. Show some love to our vendors.
And Bobby Narco, a special thank you to our 2017 B-Team Championship hosts for Hostile Talkover. Give it up for Tampa Roller Derby.
And last but not least, if you're a skater, show some love for the fans that are here to support you. All right, we are back on the clock, and the jammers are number 22, Powers, and number 16, Beyond Thunder Dame.
Lateral game being worked left and right, but just enough space for Thunder Dame to take advantage of, and once again, Bobby Narco get the call.
Thunder Dame clears the pack, soars like an eagle around that jammer line, burning off just a couple extra seconds before she calls off the jam.
Well, she is 8 of 11 for lead jammer calls in the game. And here's the crazy thing. That might be her lowest single game percentage for lead jammer this weekend. What?
Holy cow. You're going to see who the MVP jammers are going to be. We've had some outstanding jammers this whole tournament.
93, Vanna Curtis with a star for the Axles, and that'll be number 52, Andy, for the Bruising Altitude. Pack stretched out from turn number 1 into the exit of turn number 2. Pack now 4-3 advantage, Axles of Annihilation.
Denver sends one skater to the penalty box. I did not see the call.
Water falling up front, the Sun to try and hold the line, but inside, Andy, oops, no, it will go in fact to Vatikurst, but not Jammer in the lead. Axel's running the runaway pack to try and eat more time off the clock. Jam called for our 6th scoreless jam of the game. 171, Axles of Annihilation, 140, Bruising Altitude, as Bruising Altitude will stop the clock to use its official review with 5 minutes, 56 seconds left in regulation.
Oh my goodness.
Is this our first official review?
Yeah,
No, it's going to be our second. Did we have it on first? I don't know.
Not the second man.
Could be closest to the weekend.
Okay. We got some stats coming in from Standby Tommy.
Standby Tommy Cena, hardest working roughneck producer in the television TNV things going throughout the Sunshine State.
They are predicting that Denver will, that Rose City will win by a 22-21 margin, and that's pretty close to what we got.
That is pretty doggone close to what we have here.
We will let you know what the official review is about as soon as we are informed what the official review is about.
Well, our head ref Base Invader talking things over with captains and coaches at Center Track. Having worked with Base many, many times, I know he is a stickler about trying to make sure he keeps the announcing crew and production staff informed so that they can inform the fans and recognize that we all work together to make roller derby the best production it can be.
I think there's an after party tonight. After party tonight, the final one of the tournament, going to be at Bradley's in Ybor City.
Ybor City.
I'm sorry, I'm from out of town.
I'm sorry. I'm not one of you fancy Southerners here with your fancy Latin spelling.
With the Y.
And our officials certainly talking this one over. Now
Denver spirits are high out there on the jammer line. They are loose. They are trailing by 31, but you wouldn't know it to look at them on the line. They are poised, they are cool, they are in control.
Well, I dare say, Bobby Narco, I'm not sure any opponent the Axles of Annihilation have had all weekend long have been this close, this late in the game. So I know Denver is certainly looking at that as a victory of sorts. Our broadcast investigative journalist, Bobby Narco, talking things over with our alt-ref announcer liaison. We should have an update momentarily. Mr. Narco, what do you have, sir?
Denver is requesting a back block on the Rose City Jammer, but on further review, the contact was hip on hip, so no back block, and the official review is denied.
So the Bruising Altitude with 2 team timeouts left. The Axles of Annihilation also with 2 team timeouts, but also their official review as Beyond Thunderdame and Powers try once again.
Track cut coming in from all kinds of directions, and that is on the Denver Jammer.
Thunderdame now 9 of 12 for lead jammer calls for this championship game. 171-140 Axles of Annihilation over the Bruising Altitude. But
looks like a forearm penalty called on white, number 212.
That's on Calamite. It's either a forearm or cutting the track. Regardless, the end result the same.
Very similar looking hand gestures. That's a 5-point pass for Thunderdame. All purple at the back of the pack, all white at the top of the pack. Nice hip check by Morgan Levy. And nice block on the inside. Couple of nice blocks on the inside. That's Angel throwing the most recent one, but Thunder Dame powers on through for 4 more points. She's got 14 and she's not done.
The high jam of the game, I believe 29 points scored by number 16. Beyond Thunder Dame still looking to roll to improve on her record.
Spinning like a whirligig and calling off the jam in the backstretch is Thunder Dame. She has 17 points on that jam.
And Bobby Narco, if I'm not mistaken, thanks to our crack producer Daryl, I believe with that 17 points in this game, number 16 Beyond Thunder Dame with 104 points for the Axles of Annihilation.
How about that? Beyond Thunder Dame breaking the century mark. Lead jam right now is Zip Drive. Andy jamming for Denver. Forearm penalty called. Rose City losing a blocker.
Not sure if that was a forearm or perhaps a blocking out of bounds. This one is going to call off 4-0 jam advantage Axles. We'll put us at 192, 140. Bobby Narco.
We got a little stoppage of play going on. Official timeout. You know, I don't. Officials want to get it all right. Hey, I want to give a shout out to the whole Damm family. This is Al B. Damm's crew that he put together to announce this weekend. I'm Bobby Narco. I'm joined by Vince Hannity. We also have AC, Standby, Tool Time, Corey, Buddy Bam Bam, Catman, Double H, Daryl Buckley, and Bud Hers, our technical director. Put some hands together for the whole Damm family.
And Bobby Narco, we'd be remiss because part of the whole Damm family is the Chief Justice of Florida Derby DJs, Oye Oye DJ Ito!
Best damn DJ in roller derby. He is going to be going to champs.
He's going to champs.
Not easy to make the cut for that.
He's going to B team champs and he's going to Division I champs. Oh my goodness.
Is he there at JRDA champs? That would be the trifecta.
Well, it's something to work on for next year, but working on the back is Vanna Curtis and Supersonic for the Axis of Annihilation and Bruising Altitude, respectively. Cutting the track will go against Dixie Dash, but lead jammer Bobby Narco going to Vanna Curtis.
But only a few strides behind her is Supersonic. Big hit by the Rose City pivot, forcing Vanna to the outside, taking her all the way back to turn number 4. And now a hit by Denver, forcing Curtis to the back of the pack, taking her all the way back to turn number 4. Boy, it is a merry-go-round in the wrong direction over here in turn number 4.
Tonight on the track in the Wrecking Hall, everyone gets hit out and drawn back.
Direction of play is the call.
Palau, if I'm not mistaken, for the Axles.
Mia Palau, number 247. All white at the back of the pack, all purple at the top of the pack. Each team donating one blocker for bridging purposes. Now Denver dropping 2 bridges. But a great hit at the top of the pack, forcing that jammer down.
That's 155, Bella Constrictor, oh captain, my captain.
4 points picked up by Vanna Curtis. Timeout to Denver.
Denver's second team time out of the game.
Little scoreboard adjustment. 3 points on the board for Rose City. 4 points on the board for Denver. 195 to 144. 1 minute and 34 seconds left to play.
And I could hear the phrase from Supersonic coming back to the bench with the team timeout. The family-friendly version, Bobby Narco, is it is not flipping over.
Not flipping over.
And DJ Ito reminding us, regardless of the margin of score so far, there is no reason to turn down for what here on the Wrecking Hall tonight for our championship game.
Both managers taking advantage of the official timeout.
Clock stopped at 1 minute 34 seconds. Axles of Annihilation 195 points. Bruising Altitude 144. It is Powers. It is Beyond Thunder Damm with 104 points so far in the game for Rose City.
Minute and a half to pick up 51 points. Lead jammer goes to Beyond Thunder Damm.
She is now, if I'm not mistaken, Bobby Narco, 10 for 13.
6 jams in a row. Rose City has got lead.
Well, they say finish up strong, whatever sport you're in, Bobby Narco. And Thunder Damm looking to finish up strong.
High block call.
Oh!
This jam will go the full 2 minutes, so this will be the last jam of the half. Last jam of the game.
Indeed, the last jam of the game, as the jam clock is now above the period clock time, and there is no way to stop the clock whatsoever.
Last jam of the tournament.
Last jam of forever.
'Cause it's the last jam. Sorry.
Powers defended the center track, drawn back by 2 for 1 at Dow. Joined by Levy at the rear.
Well, if Denver couldn't get lead, the power jam was the next best thing, but Rose City is able to effectively kill that power jam. Four-point pass for Thunder Damm. They are at 199. Powers is on her 3rd scoring pass.
You're good.
Thunder Damm is on her 2nd scoring pass. And let's go clockwise. Fans are reacting. Jam timer's got his eye on the stopwatch, and that will do it. 4 points picked up by Rose City, 14 points picked up by Denver. Unofficial final, 204 to 158.
And Bobby Narco, number 16, Beyond Thunder Damm of the Axles of Annihilation, unofficially with 113 points of the Axles, 204 points on the board.
More than half. Holy cow. And that is an official final, 204 to 158. Your champions for Hostile Talkover,
your Rose City Rollers, Axles of Annihilation.
Teams are going to congratulate each other, then they're going to take a victory lap. Put your hands together for the Rose City Rollers, Axles of Annihilation.
Bobby Narco back to back. They went to Atlanta last year to pull it off. They travel even further to the Tampa Bay area and once again go undefeated on the weekend to reclaim their championship.
Everything's coming up roses. Also put your hands together for the Denver Roller Derby Bruising Altitude.
Came in as the 6th seed on the weekend, made it all the way to the championship game, and quite possibly the closest margin of victory over the Axles of Annihilation. Mad love to our roughneck producer, Daryl, for keeping us honest on that championship game. We're about to have our medal ceremony. Keep it tuned in live and go to facebook.com/albdamm, ALBDAMM, all one word, all for our medal ceremony.
Coming up shortly. Getting a group photo for the referees. Referees and NSOs. Head on out to the backstretch. Referees and NSOs.
Fans, we do thank you for attending here in the Wrecking Hall all weekend long for Hostile Taco Reward. A friendly reminder to remind you, please clean up your garbage after yourself. Additionally, a thank you to all our skating and non-skating